Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 127-109, and the Lakers fall to the Phoenix Suns for the first time this season at home. And, this game, it wasn't really much to see there, man. If you're a Laker fan, you could have did better not watching this, to be completely honest with you. I think the best thing I took from it is Skylar Mays is exactly as good as I thought he was, and we need to play him. Not as a second, third unit guy, but as somebody in our regular rotation. That's what I really took from this game. Everything else from this game was pretty much nothing at all. I didn't care for any of the moments of this game. All of it sucked, man. All of it, just all of it. So where do I want to go with this? Bron walked out of there with like 10 points, 9 assists. AD walked out of there with like 13 points or something like that. I mean, this was really the let's get back to business of firing Darvin Ham game. That's what I took from this. That's exactly what I took from this. We had to beat the Clippers. And for LeBron's legacy, it's always important we beat LeBronto. But, we don't want this coach. So let's get back to the business of making sure he looks as terrible as he normally does. And hopefully we can just get him up out of here with this one. That's what I took from this. That's what I took. Call me crazy, call me whatever you want to, but that is the energy I got from this game. Man, did we look bad. Devin Booker had like 30-something points. Bradley Beal had his season high at 30-something points. I'm telling you, man, the attitude of this team is kind of the attitude I have making this video. I didn't care for this game, man. I didn't hardly watch any of the fourth quarter. I really didn't. I had some link trouble around the 5-minute mark, so it never regained. So anything after that, I was looking at the stats pretty much instead of being able to watch the game. But I know Skylar Mays played well, hit threes, came in scoring like a madman. And, Austin Reeves, his defensive deficiencies have me really wondering what the future holds, man. I know that Chris Haynes came out somewhere in this game. It was the exclusive TNT game, which is also another reason why I really wasn't interested in watching it, because I couldn't get away from Reggie Miller. I didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. And unfortunately, that was the only simulcast that was up there. So, yeah, man, this is one of those games where I can honestly say I didn't focus as much as I would have liked to be able to, because the score was pulling me away from it. The link was pulling me away from it. It was just a lot going on there that just had nothing for your boy BDF. I just did not care for this basketball game. The fact that we've seen the Suns already 4 times in the first, what is it, 5 times if you count preseason. Like, I'm tired of the Suns. The defensive matchups were god-awful. We found ourselves in situations where we had some of our worst defenders guarding some of their best players. They were cooking us. Josh Okogie dunked all over Jackson Hayes. He was awful tonight. Jackson Hayes he scored every time we got him the ball, every lob. And as I told you guys, if you lob the ball to Jackson Hayes and get him buckets on the inside, that's why he's in the league, because he can really score a lot around the rim. Like, that's what you do. But if you don't spam him around the rim, you're really not getting anything else out of him. And so Darvin ain't figured that out yet. But some of the players on our team has, and they got him the ball. Brian got him a lob. I think Austin got him a lob or something like that. He was able to get 3-3. But other than that, he was just setting picks, and teams were, the team was taking advantage of that by flopping off of him. And, that kind of stuff just got him in foul trouble. And, of course, Josh Okogie dunked all over his head. I mean, in a very disgusting way. And we really miss Christian Wood out there. I really miss Rui Hachimura out there. D'Lo ended up banging knees, but he actually had a pretty good game, hit some shots that we were appreciative of. So I thought he looked as good as he's looked in a couple weeks tonight. Wow. Cam Reddish got a knee, so he may be missing for a little bit with more knee soreness, so he didn't play very much in the second half. I don't know, man. I don't know. This was one of those games where I just honestly felt like we never had a chance because, first of all, we couldn't stop turning the ball over. And they were just one-upping us in every way, shape, and form. They just shot more. The percentages are actually comparable. We shot 38% from behind the arc. They shot 35% from behind the arc. They shot 50% from the field. We shot 48% from the field. So it wasn't about percentages. It was just they were getting more attempts. And hitting those attempts, man, they only had, like, let's just be honest, they only had 2 people really attacking us. Kevin Durant did his work in the first half, and he pretty much just left it to Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. And if you look at the rest of team for the Suns, they pretty much got nothing out of anyone else. It was just Devin Booker and Bradley Beal destroying our poor defenders. Just everybody we put in front of them, they just cooked them. You know, it was one play where Bradley Beal did a triple hezzy in and out weave on, I don't know if that's what you actually call it, but it looked like a triple hezzy in and out weave. The rare move that you don't ever see he did on Austin Reeves, had him stumbling, shot the jumper, and killed him on it. I mean, it was just a lot of cooking out there from those two, man. It was really a video game spam session. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. And, you know, Darvin wasn't going to do nothing to stop that. He didn't have a clue or an answer or nothing. It was his pockets all night. This was just your prototypical bad Laker game. When you consider what the Lakers look like when they're at their worst, you consider all of the stereotypical stuff people talk about the Lakers not having two-way players and Darvin not doing anything to stop the bleeding, all the stuff that you talk about when you consider what a bad Laker game looks like this season, it all summed up into this one. Your typical bad Laker game of the 2023-2024 season. This is just, it just is what it is, man. I just want people to make trades at this point. I don't even know that another coach could have did anything with this, man, because if you wanted to get scoring out there, you needed those players on the floor. The problem was Beal and Booker were just taking turns abusing them. Anybody you put in front of them dudes, they was abusing them. You would think on a night like this, you just put Vanderbilt on one of them and Cam on the other. But in situations like that, when we get down on the offensive end, they clog in the paint. You know, so it's like players on the other side are playing off of them dudes so much that you can't get any scoring going, because when you have those best defenders on the floor, unfortunately for us, they can't score worth a damn. So Vanderbilt hit a 3 in this game. That was encouraging, but you know, you couldn't just keep him on the floor to guard Bradley Beal all night, because he's not a threat offensively, and that hurts your offense. So it's just like, yo, if you don't make some trades, Lakers, you're very obviously not that great of a team, man. And that's what it is. So, you know, in my mind, we need to be going after Miles Bridges. We need to be going after anybody that can do both, man. Dorian Finney-Smith, DeJounte Murray, anybody that can do both. Alex Caruso, I don't give a damn how you do it. But if you want to compete for this season, you're going to have to find some people that can do both. Because otherwise, you're going to have games like this, and you may have playoff series like this. You run into the wrong matchup, and this is what you get. And like I said, Darvin ain't do nothing to help the situation. You would think he would say, yo, let's just try to run a zone of some sort, or let's just try to see if we could do something that would ultimately help us. But he was just, you know, nothing. And when Bron and AD both don't care to really play, which this game seemed to me, they both didn't really care to really give it to us fully. You know, Bron rolled an ankle in this game, ended up having a shoulder thing in this game. But, you know, that was pretty much it for his night. Like I said, it was like 10 points. I don't even remember the last time he scored this little. And then AD is usually has it going. He's been killing it for the last couple months. But we got one of them AD games where it's just like, I give you 10 points. I give you 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, that's why I call this the let's get back to business of firing Darvin Ham game. Because when both of your stars combine for like 22 points, you know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to think? I think Austin Reeves had the most points tonight or something like that. Was it D'Lo? It might have been D'Lo. Probably D'Lo. But yeah, this was not very good, man, to say the least. Turned the ball over a lot. And, it was really the third unit in garbage time that ultimately got our percentages up. Guys like Skylar Mays hitting threes. We got a chance to see Jalen Hood-Schifino out there a little bit. He looks like the G League time is starting to give him a little confidence. He looked a little better out there, even though I didn't really see too much of it. But it was what it was. We got Windler on the floor. He hit a three. Winsler, rather. Max Christie, he did some good things. His three ball fell, but defensively, he was outmatched by a guy like Devin Booker. I mean, what are he gonna do? What are you gonna do? Even the good defenders get cooked by them dudes. And tonight, they just both had it going, and so, yeah. I really think the Lakers had a hard time even competing. Like I said to you guys, we cut it to 6 at one point. I said it the halftime video. And then they ran it up to 13 in a matter of less than 50 seconds. They ran it back up. We were down by as much as 32 at one point. This was garbage. This was absolute garbage. And, I just think the Lakers need to go ahead and make some moves, man. If there's something to do, get it done. Otherwise, we're just going to have games like this all the way through the end of the season. You're going to have some good games, but you're going to have games like this. And that's why I call this no man's land hell. Because you know damn well you're not good enough to win a championship. I don't care how many games you win that are impressive. The totality of what your team is average. Laker fans, that's what it really comes down to. You can beat Dallas in a certain game. You can maybe win a tough game against OKC or something like that, whatever the heck you want to say. But at the end of the day, you're capable of this. And this was a night where you couldn't even compete with Phoenix. You couldn't even compete with them. All we were missing was Christian Wood, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent, and we could not compete with a team that we've beaten 3 times already when they've missed players. They missed 1 or 2 of their guys, so it renders their team, exposed for being shallow. We miss a few guys, and it renders our team be exposed for being shallow. These 2 teams are neck and neck. They're both in no man's land hell. And Phoenix just happened to get the upper hand tonight. That's really what it was, man. I want to give the game ball to Bradley Beal because this was his game high. Season high, rather. And, of course, he's been missing with injury all year long. So this was his really actual coming out game as a Phoenix Sun. And, of course, he'd do it against us, right? But this was his night. Devin Booker did what Devin Booker does, but I've also seen Devin Booker score 72 points. So I figured I'd give the game ball to Bradley, who's, been dealing with injury all year long. But finally, the big three were able to play a full game with one another. And, of course, they would do it on our floor. Good Lord knows when you'll see them 3 out there again. Probably the next time they play the Lakers. So, yeah, man, we're 3-1 on the season series with this team with yet another game to play against these guys. Lord knows, I don't even know if I want to watch that matchup. On the 22nd of February, I might actually just skip that game. That's how tired I am of the Suns. I just don't care to watch them 6 times in one season. But that is really it, man. I would love to say this is a big-time Darvin fail game, but I really thought this was more so about the roster just not being very good. I really did. Darvin did what Darvin does. He put his hands in his pockets and he watched it go bad. This was more so about us not having the ability to both score and defend at the same time. That's really what this was about. We just didn't have the ability. The only two-way player we really had on the floor was Anthony Davis. That's it. And he didn't have it tonight. Everybody else, they were either on one side or another, man. And it was only two people to really guard, man. Like I said, Kevin Durant did all his damage in the first half. He just sat down, chilled, let them 2 do all the heavy lifting. Nobody else on that team is worth a damn. Like, literally, their whole team sucks. But they had Devin Booker and Bradley Beal out there just shaking and mid-range jumping and shooting and taking advantage of everybody in ISO situations they possibly could. Anybody we could put on them, maybe they were cooking. And at one point I saw you know, Austin Reeves in front of Kevin Durant on a couple possessions, and Kevin Durant was screaming, "Don't put this dude on me," or something like that. Like, he was really offended by the fact that we had Austin on him. And these are the type of moments where you just sit there and say, I really am an Austin fan, but is this really what we can look forward to for the rest of his career? Like, you got to be honest with yourself and say, how much does he give me offensively versus how bad he's going to be in these type of situations? If he has no upside on the defensive end, is he empty stats? I have to ask if my guy, Austin, one of my very favorite players, is empty stats, because if you can't get a stop, and I'm relying upon you to do everything on the offensive end, that is a problem. Because at the end of the day, you don't give me enough on the offensive end. I'm not getting enough buckets from you. You see me? He's got to get back to that flopping he was doing on the defensive end. When people are messing around and doing too much, he needs to seek out ways of getting to the line and seek out ways of drawing offensive fouls, because he can't stay in front of these people physically outright. It's just not happening. So that's what I want to say. I'm having a hard time because I'm a massive Austin fan. I am on board. I want to speak clearly with us not trading him. But nights like this make me rethink my entire life when it comes to that. Nights like this make me wonder, am I tripping? Am I overrating this guy because I'm a fan of what he does? And could I really benefit from adding him to a trade to bring back somebody that's never going to have these problems? I have to ask. This is the night you ask, yo, are we right about this? Yeah, his contract is definitely worth keeping. So on that aspect of the game, of course. But the player, are we going to have nights like this where people cooking him to high hell and he may hit a shot, he may not hit a shot? Because as much as I like him on the offensive end, I like him on the offensive end because he does a lot of different things. He can shoot the ball efficiently when he's right. He can make plays for others when he's right. Offensive rebounding, he comes flying out of nowhere. He's clutch like he was against Toronto. So it's a lot of things I like about Austin. But on nights like this, I say I don't have a chance, bro. I don't have a chance because every single time one of those three dudes find themselves down on their offensive end, they looking for you to hunt. They looking for you. And that is hurtful for the squad, man. So I don't know what to say. I don't know if there's anything to do. But I'm telling you, this has me rethinking the Austin Reeves conversation. I just have to. It's not responsible for me not to watch this basketball game and not ask the question if we're wrong for keeping this dude untradeable. The one person we've refused to trade is this guy. Are we sure about that? I have to ask. Because this was one of them nights where they just really made lunch meat out of homie all night long, man. So that's what's got to be said, man. It had to be said. And as I said, I think my stars, they just protest tonight. They want this coach the hell up out of here, dude. If I'm being real with everybody, them two stars, they want that coach gone. They want him gone. I sense that in the Pelicans game. I sensed that in the Grizzly game. They took 2 games off for the sake of their own legacies, but they got right back to business. They want him gone, y'all. So I don't know if Jeannie watched me. I don't know who watches me, Rob Pelinka. I'd hope, everybody hear me when I say this. That was a protest. I know what I'm looking at. And so that's pretty much that's what it is, man. I don't take any pleasure in speaking like this. I don't. I want my team to succeed. I like all my favorite players, especially if we draft them. I'm a Bron fan since he's been a Laker. Hell, I can't wait to download the Benny the Butcher song that just dropped. Hit Boy produced, called Bron. That thing sound pretty good in the snippets. I'm on board with all of this, so long as we can get him to a championship. But if we don't be in no man's land, I don't like being in no man's land hell, ladies and gentlemen. And that is exactly where our team is right now. We can't win a championship and we don't suck enough to get ourselves the first or second overall pick in the draft. And even if we did, that pick is going to New Orleans. So for me, it's like I got to make this make sense. If I'm not going to rebuild this entire thing and get myself a first or second pick over the next 7-8 years with these superstars, then I got to trade the stuff that can't get them to the finals for stuff that can get them to the finals, man. I have to. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here being cool with being decent. And decent is not going to get us any banners. Decent ain't going to make us be in a position to have the best trade package for anything that we'd otherwise want to get. Decent ain't going to keep Bron from going to play with Bronny if he happens to get drafted to any team anywhere. Decent ain't going to do nothing, man. Decent ain't going to do nothing but allow you to say you better than the Pistons. And so that's kind of where we at. We better than the Pistons. We're better than San Antonio. We're better than Washington. We're better than Portland. You know, congrats. I'm not moved by any of that. If we're not up there competing for an NBA championship, we probably should be as bad as San Antonio and the Pistons so that we can get the next great player. You feel me? So this ain't good enough, man. We can have untouchable players and all of that good stuff, but if they're not going to get us to that promised land, then we're just kind of sitting here and enjoying their what they can do for us, which ain't enough. And if everybody's fine with that, then you're probably in the wrong place, man. You're not a Laker fan. That's Clipper stuff over there. If that's what you're fine with, that's Sun stuff. They're fine with that. I'm not fine with that. I need to be competing for championships with this timeline, man. This LeBron James we talking about. If he ain't getting to the finals, then we're the problem, not him. He gonna always be in the finals. We the problem if we can't get him there, and we need to understand that. That's already been proven year in, year out. And so I love the Skylar Mays pickup. Clearly he needs more minutes. That was clear to me before we even picked him up. I told y'all they got him pegged as a backup point guard. And that's cool because he's about to play his way out of that role, show he can do some things defensively and all that. But he showed us tonight that in limited minutes, he could do massive things. So if you give him maximum minutes, he could probably do massive things. And he's already proven that when he had the opportunity with Portland. So y'all can keep twiddling your thumbs and acting like this is a nice little solid third stringer if you want. You can treat him like he's Corey Joseph if it makes you feel better, but his production is going to tell you he's a lot better than that. So you'd be wise to get him in regular rotation right away. That's what I took from the game, man. Everything else is just more of what I expected. Just this team not being good enough on both sides of the floor at any given moment. Darvin Ham not knowing what to do and all of that, that's normal, man. Usually Bron and AD play better, so it looks a little better. But this is what happens when they don't play well. And all of the normal stuff happens. This is just a normal Laker game, minus the production from your stars. So that's what I took from this, man. We missed Christian Wood. But we got some dealing to do. We got some willing and dealing to do. I hear that we're trying to get DeJounte Murray. If we can win that trade, we should probably do that. We should probably do that. That's how bad this game was. So I don't know what to tell people, man. I'm not on board with just giving stuff away. I don't want to give away picks just to be giving them away. I'm not interested in some of the names that I've heard. I don't want to bring in a horrible contract just to fit this roster. That's not how I feel about this. But if we can make a good trade or 2 or 3 good trades to get this team to where it needs to be, then any type of hesitation is probably the wrong way to go. Because we really don't have time for it. And nights like this just remind you of the fact that you really aren't that great, no matter how many in-season tournament banners you want to toss up there to make yourself feel better. This ain't that good of a team, man. We just not. Man, so that's it, man. Look at Kyrie Irving. He went for 40-something and 10. I want y'all to think about that. A lot of y'all don't want him around here because he didn't call some people out and said some things and did some things that nobody likes or whatever y'all want to say. But you look at that production tonight and you understand that if you had him on your team, how much better your team would be. Why y'all don't want him around for the wrong reasons. and probably keeping people around for the wrong reasons too. Y'all better think about that. BDF 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.